my shoes and out the door. 5, I'm alive. 6, 7, 8, feeling great. 9, gonna shine, life is good. I'm doing fine. 10, gonna do it right and do it again, yeah. I look into the sky with all the beautiful color, but there's more than just for me, so gonna share it with another. I got to show, to give, let out. I want to sing and shout. Take a look and see a beautiful morning.
Been in here and people are roaring with laughter, so.
It's a dirty show, though.
Well, it's clean dirt.
You have here the best of the best.
Yes.
So we have many celebrities here. The Harley Madison come over here, and the Usher come over here many often, and the Paris Hilton come here.
Boy, I'm dating myself, but it's okay. Nobody else will. Oh.
That's so Vegas.
How do you see the world?
Ha! At Shriners Hospitals for Children, we know that changing how you see things can turn them into everyday miracles.
Like riding my bike.
Breaking boards. Ha! Hugging my mom.
Every day for over 90 years, Shriners Hospitals for Children has been sending love to the rescue, regardless of a family's ability to pay.
If you know a child we can help, call or go online now.
Welcome to That's So Vegas. I'm your host, Christine McKellar, here in the fabulous Las Vegas Arts District.
Absolutely.
It's wonderful to be here, and I have a very special guest today, Brian Chapin, and you are the founder of Motley Brews.
I am.
Boy, that's there's got to be some backstory there, but we already clarified it was not because of Motley Crue.
Although we have much respect for them, so
I imagine you do.
Yeah, they're great.
Yeah, I kind of dated myself on that. They were kind of my era.
Oh yeah, I was around.
So are you a native son?
No, I actually got here about a decade ago. So
Wow.
Originally from the East Coast, Philadelphia area, so huge fan of everything Philadelphia, Eagles, all that. Great year for me, so in that regard. But I've been here for about 10 years, and for 8 of those years I've been working on different events. Motley Brews is one of our brands, and it's actually how we got started out here, is working on a local level with Motley. So
what's your core foundation?
The core foundation, the name of our core company is Production Theory, and we produce all kinds of events, lots of different clients, and some a lot on the sports side, some on the community side. And Motley was really kind of the first passion stepping into here, really more of that formation of, hey, I really want to do some things on a local level as just living here.
Right.
And prior to that, in 2010, there wasn't a whole lot of offering outside of the Strip for events. And so that's really kind of where we started, and paired it with craft beer, which was brand new.
It was.
Yeah.
I remember that. As a matter of fact, I wrote a feature story, and it was about that time, where I was kind of going, isn't beer the new bubbly?
Yeah.
Because I saw people more and more going away from ordering the champagne flutes and then the martinis and everything to the different craft beers. But craft beers weren't that well known, so.
Yeah, in Las Vegas, it was very, very new. I mean, people for a long time thought, I was peddling crap beer. That's what they were like. I was like, no, that's crap. Like, it's a different deal. And so
that's funny.
Yeah, it was. And with that, it was just one of those. I've always kind of looked at craft beer. I kind of got into it when I was living in Phoenix, and just kind of going to a local place and realizing that, wow, they brew the beer right here in-house.
We have some decent breweries here in the valley as well.
Great breweries here.
Right.
Back when we started, there was a core of about 6. We've blown up to about 20 just in Vegas alone. Right. So, it's grown as we've grown. We've kind of grown with the movement as well, which is cool.
Right.
But in the beginning, it was, it was so different. It was it was just trying to get people to
try.
I
wonder what it is that made beer become. I mean, it must just be, the publicity or something. But the craft developing and all that, because there really are some great beers out there, and then to have a beer festival. So you do it not just in Las Vegas, but along the whole West Coast.
Sure.
Is that right?
Yeah, we've messed around in lots of different markets. San Diego is one of them. We've done a really big culinary and craft beer festival out there. San Diego, people don't even realize it because it's so much known for just healthy living and sun and sun, and, and all that.
There, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Well, look what the sun did to me, but
right. Yeah. So, but San Diego's home to 170 different breweries just in San Diego County.
Nice.
And so that influence, it's not just craft beer culture out there; it's actually culture. So, it's a lot of local breweries working in collaboration, and that's how they really grew, is collaborating. And it's just neat to see how that's developed and how that's kind of spilled over into here as well.
Well, big time it's spilling over downtown.
Oh, sure.
Coming up with April, what is it?
April 6th and 7th.
Not this weekend, but the following weekend.
The following weekend.
And that's, you've got a 2-day event that you've kind of folded into there.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I mean, it started as a 1-day event in 2011, so this is our 8th time that we're doing it. And started just really humbly down at Tivoli Village right when they first opened. So it was kind of their first event on a public scale. And, we had hoped to get maybe 1,000 people there. And, it was very clear that a couple days leading up that we were going to surpass that number. So we ended up selling it out about 2,000.
Wow, congrats.
Well, thanks. Yeah, I mean, and Tivoli was just like, hey, this is great for bringing all these people.
Who were your vendors? How did you...
Yeah.
You had the food and the beer and the food trucks, and how did that...
It started off pretty simply which is just reaching out to different breweries on a local level and then on a regional level and working with different brands that were mostly in the West Coast, and just saying, hey, here's the concept, here's what we want to do. And beer festivals, it wasn't a new thing to
well, you have Oktoberfest and stuff like that. So
yeah, I mean, it was, the concept was there, but the the format was very new to people. With sampling, people are like, geez, why can't I just get a full beer? It's like, take it easy.
Right. The day is long, the night is, ahead of you.
And those are the people that 45 minutes into were just like, oh, this is a lot stronger. These beers are a lot more flavorful.
Mm-hmm. And is there a government limit on how strong a beer can be? There's some kind of weird regulation, isn't there?
There's a scenario in which it at a certain percentage, I don't recall exactly what that is, it becomes more of I think it's after 40 proof, it becomes more of a spirit.
Oh, I would think so.
Yeah.
I'd be pretty spirited after 40 proof.
Yeah.
I think.
So, but I mean, there's beers, that, push the envelope of 15% plus all the time, barrel aged, very similar to the wine stuff. But I mean, people just didn't know what hit them. When they first came in, they didn't know what to expect, and a lot of folks are just like, oh my God, I can't, just give me something light, because I mean, it was 90 degrees, we did it in June. And so, for that first one, people were like, man, I just, this tastes like crap, kind of arguing my, kind of going counter to my point
Back
of craft.
To the crap beer. Yeah right.
And so, but gradually as things picked up and now it's the opposite. We have people demanding better beer. And so that's really kind of the great thing, is that we've got, we've definitely seen that change from infancy all the way to maturity.
How many vendors do you have, would you say?
Yeah.
How many do you expect in a couple weeks?
Sure, yeah. We'll have over 100 breweries there.
Oh, that would be nice.
Yeah, so we'll have 100 breweries there. We'll have 30 different culinary artists, chefs, that type of thing.
Do you pollute it with other kinds of alcohol, or is it just strictly beer?
We do pollute it, yeah.
Thought I'd throw it out there. I got a growler sitting here. I got a,
I mean, one of the really big corollaries, I think, to craft beer is this emergence of craft cocktails and craft spirits.
Right.
Which is slowly gaining momentum. I mean, it's obviously hit in other markets big. Tito's when it started. Now Tito's is obviously national as national can be. But, we do have vendors who come in and really want to, we try to bring things in that actually complement.
Right, I want to talk to you about that in our next segment. I think it's part of what I had on my list here. But and we're going to talk about, people are probably wondering what these actually very attractive cans are sitting here. And no, we're not going to drink them all. That's not what they're here for. But I have to give a quick shout out to my sponsor. And that's the Red Roof Inn on Paradise across from the Hard Rock Hotel. No parking fees. Oh. No resort fees. This is becoming more and more attractive to people, I'm finding out. And they are pet friendly with free Wi-Fi, continental breakfast for guests. There's a lot of freebies going on in there. It's all good.
Yeah, it's a great place.
So don't go away. Come right back. We're talking craft beers and this absolutely fun festival coming up downtown Las Vegas in 10 days?
Yeah, 10 days.
Just soon enough.
Yep.
We'll be right back. Don't go away. How often do you wish that you could grab a front row seat in for free to some of the greatest entertainment in Las Vegas? Would you like to feel like a VIP with behind-the-scenes access to who and what makes Las Vegas the entertainment capital of the world? That's So Vegas brings you up close and personal from the comfort of your home and or the comfort of your phone. Watch candid interviews with Vegas celebrities, entertainers, chefs, entrepreneurs, and visionaries. Like us on Facebook, join us on Twitter, and subscribe to our That's So Vegas TV channel to get each week's latest episodes. I'd like to give a quick shout out to one of our sponsors, CR Realty Services here in the Las Vegas Arts District. Welcome back to That's So Vegas. I'm your host, Christine McKellar, and I'm so happy to be sitting here with all this beer. No, I'm happy to be sitting here with Brian Chapin, and you are the founder of Motley Brew, which is a subsidiary of your main corporation.
Sure, yeah.
And that was...
It's production theory.
Well, that's pretty simple, isn't it? There's a theory to it, and there's some production going on. But
that's the idea.
Yeah, we've got you here today because you're helping Vegas stay on the map and grow on the map and everything, because you're part of the Las Vegas Downtown the Beer Festival.
Yep.
And you've created a 2-day event. This is your second a year, so there's like all these 2-2-2s there. So tell us about this event.
Well, the entire festival takes over 4 blocks of downtown. Great Vegas Festival of Beer, a lot of people refer to it as Great Vegas. We like to think of it because all of the experiences, the beer, the culinary, all of it coming together symbolizes a lot of the good things about being a local here in Las Vegas.
Sure, and what's better than walking around downtown with a beer in one hand and a snack in the other?
Can't think of a thing. Yeah.
Right, and you do it in April, so it's not like 110.
Yeah, hopefully not.
Right.
Yeah, we've had some warm ones, but it looks to be pretty good so far. Right. So, yeah, I mean, it's a cool, sprawling event. It's, you know, it really... It's designed so that if you're moving around, you're sampling beers, you're sampling food, and you're checking out all these really cool experiences that we do. So
how many different beers going on down there?
We'll probably have a little bit over 500 this year.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That could take a couple days just to sip your way through
it takes
that.
A minute. Yeah, it takes a minute. And there's lots of different styles. I mean, when we first started, I think we started with roughly about 80 different beers, and now it's, I think the growth of how many beers are actually out there is really more of a symbol of the growth of the styles and how craft beer has matured.
Amazing. We had mentioned that previously, how in 10 years, like 10 years ago, it was more wine and martinis, and now beer's the new bubbly. I'm coining that phrase again. So, and the packaging is kind of different, because I know I hadn't met a growler until about 2 years ago. I had a local brewery, and I got to give a shout out to Tenea, because they've been guests on my show. Love them. Yeah, and Anthony's just amazing.
Anthony's awesome.
I'm going to have to bring him back.
Yeah, all those guys are awesome.
Yeah, they craft a coffee beer. We'll have to talk about that.
Oh, yeah.
I love that stuff. So these items sitting here on the table. Now, I know that this is a growler.
It is.
And why do you call it a growler?
You know, it's the whole term behind it and stuff like that is really just, it's not super specific, but what it basically is used for is being able to get beers that you might not be able to find in the can and getting them at their freshest from the brewery. So, I mean, one of the really important things with craft beer is that anytime you start moving things, shipping them, it degrades, just like anything, just like a box you would ship, and packaged, it's going to come back
wine
a little
as
dinged
well.
up.
Does that apply to all libations?
I think for wine a little bit as well, because the sediment shifts up and all that type of stuff, and it's just never the same as being, fresh right from there, directly out of the bright tank. And so
when you bottle it in glass, is that what keeps it so fresh as opposed to the cans?
Yeah, but actually cans are extraordinarily fresh too. Cans, back in the day, were very equated with, what flavors can I get of select American lager, ice, dry, double dry, whatever. And cans are actually, considered to be one of the best ways to preserve beer right now. It's lined on the inside, and it doesn't see any sunlight, and sunlight has an effect on the beer as well.
Right, so the glass, and that's like typical actually, with a quick aside, with milk and things like that.
Of course.
It's better to have it in the carton than in
sure.
So is this a baby growler?
Yeah, growlette.
A growlette. How cute is that?
Lots of different names to it. But
it's a girl's growler.
It is, yeah, of course. And but yeah, I mean, that's the cool part, is that, the idea was to go directly into the brewery and get these amazing one-offs and, different types of beer that you normally wouldn't see, producing out in the stores or out in the bars.
So this is Craft House. They're one of your vendors at the upcoming...
they're one of the local breweries here. Made a huge splash out in the Henderson area. And
that's my neck of the woods, kind of.
Great team. We love Wendy and Dave and all those guys over there. And Steve and Steph, the brewers. They're awesome.
So they brew it and can and bottle it there.
Yeah, they brew them in cans, but they mostly can. And so, and then they have kegs. But they're known for really bringing a lot of different varieties out there. They have a lot of fun events on site. I like them a lot. I think their beer's great, and the spirit of what they're doing is very engaging, and it brings people in and brings locals together, which is fantastic. So, but their beer, they've been doing it for a while, and they're one of 20 or 25 Nevada breweries that'll actually be there at the festival.
Oh, this is going to be really amazing.
Yeah,
and then you have various chefs and some of the local restaurants and everything downtown, right?
Yeah.
Contributing to the...
Yeah, I mean, we bring an experience in for, all the way from the VIP all the way to the food truck side on GA. Our VIP area is being taken care of by Chef Stephen LaSala from Searsucker.
Oh, very cool.
So with Hakkasan Group, yeah. There's going to be another activation for people that are more vegetarian and vegan-based with Panacea.
Vegan beer? I guess...
vegan food.
Vegan food.
And then,
do you have kosher beer? It's hard to because you can't have the leavened grains or anything. I just was thinking about that. I did
I'm sure it's out there. I'm sure.
Yeah,
it
is. There is a company in San Francisco, actually, for those who are of that persuasion.
Yeah.
That they have the gin and vodka that's kosher. So that's really
super
good. No
cool.
grains in it. It's more like a sugar base.
Cool.
So but I'm trying to wrap my mind around how you would do that with a beer because the leavened, wheats and grains and everything are so important to that.
I mean, barley, is obviously a huge element in that. So there are some gluten-free beers and stuff, so that might help to fall in the category.
I'm not a big sugar person, so I don't want to see any of that.
Yeah,
it's like sugary beer, no.
Yeah.
I've had just about every other beer on the planet, though, because... So you also, I know that you donate some of your proceeds to various charities.
We do.
Are they local or national or...
Yeah, mostly local, and we do include nationals in there every now and again, depending upon the focus. This year we have 4 charities. We're supporting the Goody Two Shoes Foundation, which we've worked with for almost 4 years now. We support the Nevada Craft Brewers Association. That's the local breweries that are looking to kind of push the movement of more local beer, and then we support the Folded Flag Foundation, which is dedicated to supporting those families of those who have lost their lives in the line of duty.
That's
and
wonderful.
The Vegas Golden Knights Foundation, which supports 5 main fingers and of local charities within Las Vegas.
Well, I can't believe how fast this episode went. It just zipped by again. We're going to have to take a quick break. I'll give a shout out to my sponsor, the Red Roof Inn on Paradise. They're close to the airport and the Strip. No parking fees, no hidden fees, no resort fees. Everybody kind of likes to hear that these days, but don't go away. I'll be back with Brian Chapin, and we're going to talk a little bit more about this great beer festival coming up and different kinds of beers. So we'll see you in just a moment.
It's pretty amazing when you consider that 7 years ago, we didn't have the treatments we have now. We cure 80% of children with cancer. If you think about that, I mean, go back 50 years, we were curing 20 to 30%. This is the miracle story of modern medicine. We understand what makes this cancer tick. And of course, without donors from around the world, this just couldn't happen. And there's one thing we're focused on here at St. Jude, and that's beating this thing.
Welcome back to That's So Vegas. I'm Christine McKellar, and I'm just having a heck of a good time here in the studio with Brian Chapin of Motley Brews.
Me too.
Founder.
Right back at you, Christine.
Thank you so
Happy
much.
Birthday.
Thank you for all the beer.
Yep.
Yeah. We've pretty well done all this as far as what the growler is and the growlette and the beer and stuff. So you were going to give us a little background on how everybody in downtown and what a great community effort all this is, the festival and everything.
Yeah, the idea of the fest, I mean, and that's really how we started, was on the local side, was bringing in local breweries. And as we started developing, we realized that, beer is one facet, but there's so many great things going on locally here that we started working with different groups like Zappos, who's our presenting sponsor this year, to build these experiences. And so It's part beer tasting, part culinary experience, and then part just really fun stuff to do. One of the things we did with them last year, which we'll be doing again, is what's called the Pretzel Boutique. And if you've ever been to a beer festival, and even if you haven't, pretzel necklaces are kind of a big thing. They cleanse the palate. Well, we work with them to develop an idea in which we would create this entire Tiffany-esque style store selling high-end pretzel jewelry, and it went off really well. It was super awesome, and I think it's kind of a testament to Zappos and a lot of the other folks who followed lead to do some stuff that was really fun. They're edible, yes, some not.
So imagine the candy necklaces that we used to have as a kid. So some are not and some are?
Yeah, I mean, there's a huge charity element behind it too. So last year, I think we raised nearly just 10 grand,
Nice.
through their efforts. Just in selling pretzel necklaces, and some of them were really fancy. We sold one for $1,000.
Nice.
Yeah, it was crazy. So, but all those elements, there's lots of games. We have PT's brewing companies.
So kids,
local.
it's a family event. It's not just adults, or
Well,
is it just
it's
more or
21
less?
plus, and so, but it's more
Take
of
note.
like adult games. So things for adults to do and fun things to engage in. So, there's lots of like life-size games, and then we have Ellis Island, who's doing a karaoke activation there.
They've been
which is
around
super fun.
forever.
Love
They
them.
were here when I moved here in the early 80s. It's
They're
just
awesome.
amazing. It really is. Family run still, isn't it?
And they're expanding.
Yeah.
They've got the new front yard coming in short time. So it's really just this idea of just going around, enjoying, having fun, and just being a kid again, but in an adult
What
setting.
are the hours? Is this like an afternoon, evening, or is it all day? Or
Friday is from 7 to 10, and that's an
Okay.
all-inclusive beer and food experience. And then Saturday is the big event, which is from 2 to 7.
Great.
So and it just it's just something that I
Do you
think
have live music or
we
what
do.
kind?
We have music of sorts and stuff, but mostly because of the nature of walking around and stuff.
Right.
Stages aren't really that type of thing that we do. But we do have a lot of our guest-generated entertainment, so they get to entertain.
I bet they do
through
after a growler or two.
Yeah, it's more
Yeah.
that kind of concept instead of standing and watching a stage, because you're constantly moving between breweries.
Right.
It's
Street
more
festivals.
It's more
I
of a
love
street
them.
fest type
Right. Yeah.
size with a with a big injection.
And there's our parking. I mean,
Yeah, there's plenty of parking
Okay.
down there. Downtown, I think we've all learned through the massive events that have happened down there now, and with Life is Beautiful, that there's plenty of parking down there,
Right.
and you wouldn't know it, but Neonopolis, and really close to the fest.
right. Shuttles. Is that autonomous shuttle still running? That could be interesting.
I'm not sure if that's still going. We do have a host hotel. The D Hotel is our host
I love
hotel.
the D.
It's
I really
great.
do. There's something about it.
Super
and
fun.
it goes way back. It's
does.
not just because it's the D, it's the location, and there's probably some kind of a feng shui vibe going on there. I do have to say something about the pretzel jewelry, though, because if some is fake and some is real, you don't want to be accidentally biting onto
Exactly. Yeah, we're pretty clear about which is for purchase, on that side. So,
Right, yeah.
and a lot of the ones that are
But
really
after a
expensive
couple
are-
growlers or something, somebody might get confused. You
I
never
was
know,
wearing
but
pretzel earrings towards the end of the fest, so we'll just leave it there.
I think I might have to come down there just to buy
Come
a
check
set.
it. Yeah,
I think
it's great.
It'd be something different.
It's
but-
super fun.
Yeah, and I like the idea of having it as a palate cleanser.
Yeah,
the real
it's-
pretzels.
And that's the concept too. Is that each of the sponsors that are coming out and doing stuff are partners. These experiences also mesh in with the idea and the concept of the beer festival.
Right.
So it's not just somebody coming out and selling their wares, but it's more those experiences that lend themselves and the culture behind the brand, and then add to the culture of the festival.
Well, I can tell by meeting you that you're a stand-up kind of guy, and that your heart's behind this and your spirit, and you've collected a lot of really good people around you too as well.
Oh yeah, it's great. I mean, we're really fortunate, and I've got a great team, and then the extended team of all of our partners and stuff, working with them. That, I mean, they're really the ones, honestly, that make this festival what it is, because they're generating the excitement on their side too.
Well, I'm going to definitely have to come down. I'll bring my son and
down. We'd
a
love to have
group,
you.
and we'll come down and hang out with you and have some pretzels.
You should have some pretzels
and
some
wear
beer.
some too. I want to see what I'm wearing by the end of the night.
I'm telling you.
At least I'll be wearing something.
That's a plus. Yeah.
Thank you again, Brian.
Christine,
this
pleasure.
has been delightful.
Yeah, same
really.
here.
I
Thank
love
you.
good beer, and summer's coming, and like you said, and you donate to charities, so
We
there's
do.
just really nothing wrong with this picture at all.
Great. We appreciate it. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. Till next week, I'm Christine McKellar. Stay tuned for some entertainment updates, and we'll see you next week. I'm Christine McKellar with this week's latest Vegas entertainment updates. The Grammy-nominated trio Blink-182 will perform their first Las Vegas rock residency, Kings of the Weekend, at the newly renovated Pearl Concert Theater at the Palms with 16 dates from May 26, which is Memorial Day weekend, through November. Tickets start at $59 for their 9 p.m. shows. The renowned Comedy Cellar will open its first West Coast location with an underground Greenwich Village club vibe at the Rio on Thursday, April 5th. The Comedy Club will include the full food and drink menu from the club's sister bar and late night hangout, the Fat Black Pussycat. Tickets are $45 for general admission. It'll be a heavy night of music at the Cannery in the club on Saturday, March 31st, when tribute bands Bostics and Heart by Heart share the showroom beginning at 8 p.m. Tickets start at $19.95. There's a new seasonal display at the Waterfall Atrium inside the Venetian Palazzo featuring one of the world's oldest Venetian gondolas thought to be constructed around 1850. An icon of Venice, the elongated boat spans 36 feet and is nearly 5 feet wide. It's showcased among a collection of hundreds of flowers, creating a wonderful photo op. Once is a new Peruvian restaurant in the Palazzo at Grand Canal Shops by Chef Ricardo Zarate. The food is inspired by the chef's interpretations of his early food memories in his native Peru. The menu changes weekly based upon what is available at the farmer's market. Who knew Grilled Cheese Day is April 12th? Don't forget about that. The inaugural Tacos and Tamales Festival, presented by Clark County Parks and Recreation, will be held Saturday, March 31st from noon until 8 p.m. at Sunset Park, and it features taco and tamale creations by local restaurants and food trucks, a vegan village, micro beer, a tequila tasting and beer garden, live music, Lucha Libre wrestling exhibitions, carnival rides, kids activities, and more. Admission and parking is free. Tickets to the Tequila Tasting and Beer Garden are $25 and will benefit local charity Create a Change Now. Easter highlights abound in Las Vegas. For more details, visit VegasOnlyEntertainment.com, Vegas VIP category. Until next week, I'm Christine McKellar, and that's So Vegas.
1, 2, 3, 4, get my shoes and out the door. 5, I'm alive. 6, 7, 8, feeling great. 9, gonna shine, life is good. I'm doing fine. 10, gonna do it right and do it again, yeah.